Hello Earthlings, today I wanted to show you how you can create a cricket sound for in the background. So that's the sound that we will be making. So first off I'm going to go back to empty preset. Okay, so first off I'm going to assign the first two oscillators as digital sine waves. So to do that I'm going to move the position all the way to the right here. So it's sine waves, and then the third oscillator, which will be our main sound, will be a triangle because it has a little bit more harmonics in it. And I'm going to increase the octave of the sine waves by 2 and 1 here. This will just add a little bit of variation in the sound, but most of it will be cut off by the filter, so let's set that next. So I'm going to set the cutoff to around 100 here, and some resonance around, let's say, 30. And let's see what that sounds like. So that sounds nothing like a cricket yet. So the main thing that creates the cricket sound will be the pitch LFO here. So let's set that. For the frequency, I will be setting it to around 25,000. You can experiment here what you like best, and the intensity will be around 1.6, and again you can experiment a little bit how much you want that to be. So let's see what it hear what it sounds like now. So as you can hear, it's already moving in the right direction. So now I'm going to increase the pitch even more. So we go here to the common pitch and increase the octave by 2, transpose by 12, so both to the maximum. And then we will also be setting the tune to the maximum. But as you can see right now, the tune is being moved like crazy by the LFO. And when we are setting the tune to the maximum, we will basically be limiting the LFO. So as you can see, it's not going as crazy anymore. So let's listen again. So that's almost like a cricket already. But we can improve on that, of course. So first off, let's go to effects and add some reverb. And for that I'm going to use the mid ambience and descend to around -3 or something like that. -4, that's also fine. As you can hear, it's just a little bit more roomy. As you can also hear, currently the crickets come in really hard. So next up, let's add some envelope for the amplifier here. I'm going to set the attack to around 3 here and increase the curve. So now we have some sound really fast, and then it starts fading in a bit more. And let's listen again. That's much better, much more natural. Alright, so next up we want to add some variances in the sound, because nature is chaos. The cricket might move away, he might start chirping less loud, or the wind might blow the sound away. So first off I'm going to assign a LFO here for the amp again, and I'm going to use the guitar shape, which is a bit more natural than a triangle, and it's not as predictable as a sine wave, for example. Let's make the frequency rather slow, around 200 something, and just a low intensity here of like 6, 7, something like that, just to make the sound fade in and out a little bit. So next up we can add even more variances. So you can do this by adding a fourth oscillator here, and again use a triangle. And we're gonna set the level lower here to like 20, something like that. Also let's put on the hold so I can demo this better. So basically the multipoly has the voice variations here, and because we are using two triangles at the same octave level, they will be cancelling each other out because they're moving around from the voice variation, just like analog synth would. But because we have set the level of the second triangle lower here, instead of just making it really loud or cancelling each other, we get some extra movement here. So let's listen what that sounds like. And if you want to add more variation, you can play with the level here. So you can here you can make him chirp faster or slower. So you could assign this to a macro knob and add some custom variation to your cricket sound. So right now I'm just gonna leave it around 20 here. And then if you want to add even more variation, or you could remove the fourth oscillator and instead use unison here. This will also make your sound a bit wider. So let's set some thickness and stereo here and add some voices. As you can hear, it doesn't change, and that's because those voices, they only get played or updated, depending on how you want to say it, when you play a new note. So I could set it to 8, but until I play a new note, I will only be playing one voice or one note. So again, just like with the fourth oscillator, you can hear that it just makes the sound fade in or out. So yeah, depending on what your preference is, you could use either the oscillator or the unison or even both. Both might be a bit much, but yeah, as you can hear, it also works. If you want to add even more chaos from nature, you could also use the chaos pad here and assign it to, for example, to the resonance, or you can assign it to some of those volumes. And what I like to do for that is I like to use the Orbit Wanderer here. It doesn't automatically start when you choose it, but normally when you start up a preset, it will start moving like this. And basically it just will always keep moving, like the one of them follows the other and it pushes the other away, so they just create this slightly random movement all the time. And then you can reduce the time here, so as you can see we get some slow semi-random movement here. And then you can assign the X and Y to the resonance, or to whatever you like, just to add some extra randomness. And as I said in the beginning, the idea of this sound is that it's mostly for in the background. So if you add even more nature sounds, it will typically sound better. So let's just add some easy wind here quickly. So I'm gonna go to layer B, turn off the oscillator. Sorry if you hear weird noises, the cat is trying to get some attention. So yeah, we turn off the oscillator and turn on the noise. We remove the speckle, set the cutoff to 70 or something, resonance to 50-ish, and let's stroke a note again. And then when you play with the cutoff, you get some wind noises. And again, you can automate this with a LFO if you like, so you can use guitar shape works good for that. Reduce the frequency and just add some movement with the intensity, and again assign some reverb just to make it a little bit more roomy. Now we have a nice nature background. Perhaps you could play some with the volume to balance it out, or you can reduce the cutoff of the noise here. There we go. Now we have a nice background sound, nature for like ambient music or something relaxing. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and see you next time.